Hello?
Hey man. All right, let me start this recording back up again and we can get to it. All right. Thank you for joining us, Contractz. We're going to do the scrum for about 10 minutes. It'll be a couple pre-submitted questions that aren't about you in any way, and then also some live Q&A from the reporters here.
Got it.
The first question is from Nick DeRacy from Midland Global. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share about Licorice's transfer to the Golden Guardians from FlyQuest?
Nothing specifically. I think it's just kind of best for both. Actually, not for both parties, probably for Licorice. Kind of blows for Solo for sure. I thought he was performing at like an even level or maybe even better than Licorice. But at least for Licorice and FlyQuest, seems like they both wanted to part ways with each other, and Licorice wanted to keep playing in the LCS. So, he went over and joined GGS. Just it is what it is.
And as a follow-up question, also from Midland Global, do you think that trade, that transfer, improves the team, either team, in any way? Does it make them worse? Is there no change? What do you think?
I don't think it does much for FlyQuest. They're already kind of in a weird spot where they brought up their academy team, so Licorice should be just sitting in academy. For GGS, I'm not totally sure of what kind of capabilities Licorice has in terms of team environment and leadership and communication. So, just looking from outside perspective, it seems like just like an even upgrade, or yeah, just like a side-by-side upgrade for Licorice and Solo. But they performed well today and they beat C9, right? Or no, they beat 100 Thieves. So seems like it's a decent change so far.
All right, that concludes the pre-submitted questions. We'll move to live Q&A. Shay Robson from Gamezo, go ahead and start us off.
Hey Contractz, congratulations, you're the only undefeated player in the LCS currently. I'd usually ask a question about performance or, some analytical thing, but there's not really much to go off. So I'm just going to ask you, what's your thoughts on your performance so far?
I thought I've been performing okay. First game was definitely better than the second one. I thought today I had a lot of little rough bumps in the early game, and I thought I bounced back pretty well. And I had good looks in the mid game regarding neutral objectives and just looking for kind of picks and kind of flanking goals for team fights. But definitely still will need to improve quite a bit if I want to, keep playing the LCS. I think having games like these is okay because you can learn and improve from them, but I want to keep a good level of consistency going into the next weeks.
Faisal, also from Gamezo, go ahead.
Hello, Contractz. I know that you're part of a six-man roster right now. I know you said on the LCS stage that you get a full Tuesday of scrims. How is that adjustment from going from academy to the LCS stage? I know you played previously. How's it been in this unique circumstance for you personally?
Honestly, it's quite challenging. The teams play very differently. The way we communicate is very different between academy and LCS. So kind of balancing and swapping between two teams can be very rough. But I'm just trying to go day by day with it. Go into scrims and kind of, I think Jojopion and Jijuke play very similar. The way they want to play the game, they're very aggressive players. They like going for high risk, high reward plays. So mid jungle, it's pretty similar. The way we communicate with each other between both levels. But for the rest of the map, Impact is a huge voice. So losing that voice when I go back to academy, it's like I have to kind of do a lot more. It seems like when I drop into academy, it feels like I have to communicate at a much higher level, but jumping back and forth between those can be very challenging. So I'm just trying to balance it out and hopefully find more success when it comes to academy in the next coming weeks.
Go ahead, Shay.
You've said on Twitter that the early game today wasn't the best. Could you explain more as to what went wrong and why it happened?
So there was a lot of things that happened around the top wave. So like level 4, Impact, like we tried an early gank before crab. We traded a flash for flash, but Impact got very chunked. So that was a bit of a time waste. Then I go crab. And then his wave will be eventually pushing out, and I don't really want to stay there because Viego has been farming the whole time. So our tempo is kind of swapped here. So he will have a timer and a base up on me when I try to push out top. So we didn't really sync or like coordinate very well around the top wave. So me and Impact have to do a better job next time about communicating how we're going to play around that wave, whether we push it earlier. So basically, like it just turned into a big time loss, and Viego was able to kind of farm for free while I was trying to assist. So I think that gave him the slight edge. And then the second part about the early game was around the dragon. I tried calling a dragon when they had TP matched and we had no nocturnal, so we couldn't get to a numbers advantage if we wanted to. Like usually we can pull the trigger first if they have nocturnal, but we have no nocturnal, so we weren't able to pull the trigger first. So it ended up in a pretty bad situation where I think we lost like 4 people. We killed only like 2. So that definitely put us on the back foot for like the rest of the game, but we farmed well and were able to come back from mid-game.
All right, go ahead, Faisal.
Today we saw Revenge play Lulu and Enchanter in the top lane, something that we don't typically see in the LCS. Did that change how EG wanted to play the game, or was it all things normal? You played the game exactly the way you wanted to, like going into the game?
Yeah, honestly wasn't expecting that too much, but the way Lulu works as a champion, she's like a really, really lane bully. So kind of have to help Impact and make sure he's surviving in that lane for the most part. It's also very gankable as well, since we traded Flash for Flash. So definitely still played how we wanted to, minus like the dragon. I think the dragon was like the biggest kind of problem in the early game. Kind of made open up the map and exploited early game for them. I think the way you play around Lulu is you kind of just want to play really hard 2 side lanes, because after a certain point, Lulu will never really want to be inside alone. She wants to be grouped up. So I think we played well around our side waves and transferring our pressure and making sure she's like stuck before we look for any good or any look, or for make sure she's stuck in the side lane before we look for any fight.
Go ahead, Jay.
So you've been in and out LCS a lot, and you're told time and time again that you're an LCS caliber player, right? Does that pressure you when you're on stage to, play better, or, like, does any pressure get to you when you're on stage?
Definitely, because it's my first kind of like 2 games back. There definitely is added pressure. But it kind of goes away once I'm in game. But in general, I do have the confidence that I'm an LCS level player, so it doesn't affect me too much. I feel like this past year I've worked a lot of my consistency. I'm a very consistent player now, I feel. So as long as I play my game and I'm focused and I'm thinking about what to do in game, should be fine.
Go ahead, Shay.
Speaking of consistency, I'd love to personally see you play more LCS games. Are you told that how many games you can play this weekend? Do you know if you'll be playing tomorrow or on Sunday?
I can't go into the specifics of when I'll play, but I'm always hoping I get more games. More games, the better.
And we'll end it here. Last question from Faisal.
So you have Danny in the bot lane, who came directly from amateur, 17 years old, first time in the LCS. How is that being like playing with him, someone that's that young on such a big stage?
Yeah, I can definitely like relate to his shoes as well. So I know what like the pressure he's feeling, and I've been in those shoes. So I definitely see myself in him a lot as well. Quiet, young player, right? That has like a bit of aggressiveness to him, right? In the team fights, likes to play like on the edge a lot and can really makes big pop off plays. So I'm happy I'm playing with Danny. I think his potential is limitless, and excited to see his future.
All right, that concludes the scrum. Contractz, thank you for your time. You're free to go.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, everyone.